As a former consultant to the Obama campaign and a principal of Clifton Consulting, Matt Schlapp served as White House political director under President George W. Bush. He's also chair of the American Conservative Union. Great to have the both of you today. So let me start with you, Matt. Were you surprised that Dan Quayle says he's behind Donald Trump or not?
No, I think Dan Quayle's a grown-up. He realizes what's happening out there in the country because he doesn't live inside the Beltway anymore. And when you travel around the country and you talk to conservative voters, you could see this Trump thing coming. They want to send an outsider. I also think Dan Quayle was so pilloried and made fun of and mocked while he was vice president. I think he's rather enjoying watching some of these GOP bigwigs sweat this one out from the outside.
Very interesting point. Marjorie, I want you to look at what else Dan Quayle said about Hillary Clinton. Here's what he said. On paper, you'd say, well, she's more qualified, but you know what? He's more qualified in the sense that the American people, I think, want an outsider. Let's listen to it.
Well, on paper, you'd say, well, she's more qualified, but you know what? He's more qualified in the sense that the American people, I think, want an outsider. And they want an outsider this time. She is not an outsider, so if you're looking for an outsider, no, she's not qualified, and he is.
So that's how he's developing his qualification, completely based on the outsider status. Your response, Marjorie?
Yeah, I didn't know that just public opinion was qualification, but I guess that's one way to look at it. Again, I think he's sort of in this interesting spot that a lot of Republicans are finding themselves in of, do we stand with the Republican Party and the nominee at this point, or do we sort of take a third wave? And, you know, to the Koch brothers' point, it hasn't been a winning strategy to take a third wave at this point in time. And so, you know, it's that precarious spot of do we follow or not. Okay. Qualification, though, I don't know that that's the court of public opinion.
Well, public opinion is the vote, though. I mean, that's how we actually elect presidents.
Yes, yes,
it is public opinion. We go to the ballot box and we pull the lever. That's our own individual opinion. Let's move on to this. Trump's tax returns becoming an issue again. Trump telling Fox News last night he will release them eventually before the election, but he's not going to do it anytime soon. Mitt Romney had a big problem with this. You know, he put out on Facebook, again, getting himself involved in this election process, saying, you know, this is something to hide here. Do you agree with Mitt Romney, or do you think it's okay if Trump doesn't ever release them?
I don't know what's wrong with Mitt Romney. It's so strange. You know, he as a candidate didn't even release his taxes until Harry Reid took to the floor and claimed that maybe he didn't pay any income taxes at all. And now all of a sudden Mitt Romney is chastising Donald Trump for not releasing his taxes. I don't know what's going on with Mitt Romney, but the thing is this. A lot of us voted for him. I voted for him. I held my nose. He wasn't a conservative. And now he thinks that he's channeling conservatives and attacking Donald Trump over this. You know what I'd like Mitt Romney to do?
What?
Go home and be quiet, or start focusing on Hillary Clinton. She's our political opponent.
Well, so Marjorie, you kind of want Mitt Romney to keep doing what he's doing, right?
Well, I think what he's saying is this is a matter of policy and fairness in the past. And yes, he was held accountable for also presenting his returns. And I think he's saying, well, look, we should ask the same of Trump. In fact, Trump has gone after previous candidates asking that they show their returns. And I think the question here is one of integrity. It's one of also when you take the higher office of presidency, I mean, you are representing the people. You are the brand of the people. And people want to know, is there anything to hide? Because tax returns, you know, like the church said,
they're complicated. I can't even figure out my own, okay? So the one thing that maybe people would learn, real quickly, Matt, is, you know, how much Donald Trump has given to charity. Maybe that's something that he doesn't want out there. I have no idea. That might be something that the public would want to know, right?
You know, Gretchen, I think he should put his tax returns out there. I think it's fair what he's saying. When the audit's done, I will. I think he ought to make Hillary Clinton a challenge. I'll release all my tax returns when you find all those emails and release those and start being forthcoming on what happened with your server. Well, I think that would be a good trade.
I was going to bring that up with Marjorie, and I was also going to say, what about should she release the transcripts from those speeches that she gave on Wall Street?
That's right.
Well, I guess fair is fair. If they want everything on the table, everything should be on the table. But again, I think, you know, it's tit for tat. We'd also ask the same of Trump in terms of speeches he's given and hold him accountable for words that he's said in the past as well. So fair is fair.
All right. Might be a different playing field, though, because he said a lot of stuff, and he is Teflon. I'm not so sure that same thing applies to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Thanks to both of you.